Welcome back to Universal Devils, and there is more coaching staff related news coming out. And what the hell is happening? I mean, seriously, what the hell is happening? Are we getting a 1+1 offer or some form of new discount that is going out on Dutch coaches? Forget coaches, direct first team managers that we're picking up from the Dutch league. Now we're linked with Van Nistelrooy plus Rene Hack, Hack, Hake. No one bloody knows. This came out of the box. Honestly, guys, I don't know what's happening. But I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing. I'm very pleasantly surprised, to say the least. But if any one of us over here thinks that we know about this other Dutch coach that we're going to steal from one of the other Eredivisie teams, then the guys, forget about understanding what this guy brings to the club, understanding his coaching, his tactics. I didn't even know how to say his name. And that's the honest to God truth right now. And I bet every single one who's watching, until and unless you are a fan of this club, you will know who this manager is. Rene Haak. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. But that's the latest news that was dropped by Fabrizio Romano, our very own Here We Go specialist. And that's the news that came out today that obviously we are almost there when it comes to Eric Ten Hag's new contract. And apparently, a part of that contract is these new coaches that are going to be coming in. Of course, the one and only Ruud van Nistelrooy. Other than that, we have Rene Haag. And for people like me who don't know anything about Dutch football, what goes on over there, I had to do a little bit of research, guys. This was some extra work that I'm sure most United fans did once this news came out. And just like every other diligent person, I went on Google, put his name down, Rene Haag, and then did a bit of research on him. So apparently there is a connection. There is a connection between him and Ten Hag, and there are reports coming out. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but there are reports coming out that it could be a recommendation coming in from Ten Hag, a part of his contract renewal process. So Ruud van Nistelrooy, 100% yes. And now Rene Haag. We'll dig a little deeper into what he brings exactly, jokes apart, and we'll figure out what it can actually mean for our existing coaching setup and how his influence, and not just his, but Ruud van Nistelrooy's influence could be showcased in the coming season along with Eric Ten Hag. First and foremost, guys, I really want to say that, like I mentioned about the connection between both of them, apparently they were together when it came to Utrecht, is where Eric Ten Hag was managing. Guys, I might be wrong, and do not blame me. I'm pretty sure most of you guys will be wrong about this, but I think he was a player for him. Okay, I have a few comments coming in. Let me just say one second before we dive in. Tanmay, how are you, Tanmay? I hope you're feeling well, man. He was supposed to join us today, but he's downed. He is, I think, bitten by the flu bug. So I'm going to take his comment right now. Benny will be gone. Rude in, finally a proper center forward as United coach, as Benny is a guy with vibes. This word vibes, it brings back haunting memories, to say the least, when it came to the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. But we're not going to get into that. We'll talk about Ruud. Tanmay, I hope you feel well. And Rene used to work with Eric Ten Hag. Rene is known for beating big teams. Perfect segue to get into what I actually wanted to talk. And thank you, Tanmay, for that. Rene Hag. I don't know jack shit about him, guys.
Okay, on a serious note, I need to come back. I need to focus again. So this guy apparently is, like I said, he has connection with Eric Ten Hag, and he has a philosophy which is quite similar to Eric Ten Hag. Is what the reports are in the Dutch media, and that's what people say. We basically call him the second Eric Ten Hag, or someone who is similar to Eric Ten Hag. How does that come to fruition? First and foremost, he likes to defend. Defend first, attack mentality is what they say about him. He likes to create compact defenses when it comes to being away from the ball, being without the ball. And it's very similar to what we were looking at in Eric Ten Hag's first season, to be honest. Second season was a write off. I've completely erased that out of my memory for obvious reasons besides the FA Cup. FA Cup is the best cup in the world. Honestly, it is. So, anyways, like I said, very similar to how Eric Ten Hag likes to play without the ball. And as much as research that I've done about Rene Hag, he is very flexible when it comes to his tactics. He can be someone who can make his teams comfortable with the possession. But having said that, he can also create a formidable counter-attacking team. Now I will go right back into Eric Ten Hag's early comments where he wanted us to be the best transition team in the world. How does that come into play? Of course, it comes into play because for people like me who have been following Manchester United for a couple of decades now, we were pretty good at counterattack. We were pretty good to say the least, and I'm sure most of you will agree with this statement. How does this fit into Eric Ten Hag's philosophy about being the best transition team in the world? It's not about being defensive. It's not about being purely counter attacking. Like the word transition, it's exactly that is what it is. It's transition football. You press the teams. Usually, we like to play with a mid block. When it comes to pressing, we let the ball come into our half or to the midfield area before initiating the press. So here we would like to transition as quickly as possible towards the opposition's goal. And in terms of attack, Rene Hag can bring a much more touch football related influence into the team, which is in line to Eric Ten Hag. And this brings a very interesting point in my head, guys. It could easily be something as simple as maybe Ruud van Nistelrooy is Ineos appointment in the coaching staff. And when these contract negotiations were going on with Eric Ten Hag, maybe Eric Ten Hag put forward the name who he has a working relationship with before, and that is Rene Hag. So we could probably safely say that Ineos, Ruud van Nistelrooy could be Ineos's guy, and Rene Hag could be Eric Ten Hag's guy. All three are Dutch, man. I'm sure it's either going to be like the perfect mixture, the perfect blend, or things could get a little iffy. I would like to go with the first option, to be honest. I think that this could be something amazing. We could actually see a rebirth of Dutch total football that we all thought we will see when Erik ten Hag came. And other than that, to be honest, uh, what what do we expect coming in right now from this setup? Till now, we've seen Ineos bringing in a lot of football guys into the team, and there must be some reason why this structure is being chosen for Erik ten Hag. When they did their post game post season review, I wonder what was spoken about Van der Gaag and Steve McLaren. I think that Steve McLaren might stay, but it seems like even the reports that are coming out right now is Van der Gaag is open to the idea of leaving, and it makes sense, right? He wants to pursue being the number one somewhere, and probably after 2 seasons of what we've seen, it could be like a natural evolution of this team, a natural evolution of the coaching staff. And I, for once, I'm very excited to see what influence these two coaches will bring along with Ten Hag. A little more quick talk about Eric Ten Hag's contract. Apparently, it's a contract worth 27 million pounds. I don't know that if my math is not wrong, it's about 9 million a year in a 3-year contract. The all I can say is that Ineos is definitely backing Eric Ten Hag, even with the entire setup that is going on. Oh, talking about setup, if you guys can see, I made some modifications. Let me know if this suits you guys well. And Tanmay is bringing in another compare. Don't compare Ollie with Benny. Ollie's attackers used to score goals. Benny's attackers can't even score goals against championship teams. Tanmay, my friend, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Benny McCarthy there in the first season where Rashford was firing? So I don't know, man. I think it makes sense. It makes sense for people like Benny McCarthy, people like Van de Gaag to maybe move on. Um, there's a lot of politics that goes on behind the scenes, guys. It's not just about coaching. It's a lot of politics, and maybe it reached a point where some things had to change if Ten Hag had to stay. I think that's a compromise that's been made, and I think that compromise will lead to some positives coming with the next season, which we will get to see. Hopefully, starting from the influence we'll get to see from pre-season onwards. Now, talking about pre-season, let's talk about the players that you think might stick around in terms of sales. There is some news coming out. Not too much, to be honest. Besides a couple of them, I don't want to dwell too much into this one particular person, but because it's out there, I am going to mention it. Mason Greenwood, Marseille apparently are hot on his heels, and that's the one person that it seems like that could be a very viable place for Greenwood to end up in. The other talking point coming out is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Apparently, West Ham is interested as well. And you know what? For players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka, for players like Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, all these players, guys, the more teams that come in for them, the better for us, because that is where we'll actually end up getting some good deals crossed. Otherwise, we will have Fenerbahce coming in for Aaron Wan-Bissaka for 8 million euros and something stupid like that. So I just hope that more teams get linked with our players, man. It's a little concerning with Jadon Sancho, to be honest, because it seems like it's going to be another loan deal for him because no one will pay the stupid wages that we gave him, and no one will pay 30, 40 million for this player right now. And I don't blame. I don't blame anyone, frankly, because I feel that there will be some issues of the past that are going to haunt us for a couple of seasons more till we completely erase and completely start fresh. There are going to be some hiccups when it comes to player sales for sure. I feel personally right now, even with the news coming out, I think the easiest one would to move would be Mason Greenwood because there is some genuine competition for him. I think even Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and for someone like an Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Everton, West Ham, Leicester, that kind of a team makes more sense than a Fenerbahce. So I hope something good materializes for that. Other than that, I don't see anything. 1 second, let me just check the news before I make a comment. Who else is there for sales? There are so many players for sales. I'm not even mentioning players like Facundo Pellistri, Christian Eriksen, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, especially the ones who are at Euros. I think their destiny will be decided once they're back. And right now, guys, the most important thing for us is to get the best what we can out of our sales. And before I move on with that statement, it's like Tanmay is there with me, man. 1 second, let me see. Tanmay says Ineos is backing the manager, which shows they have faith on Ten Hag's abilities. Steve's place is in danger. Fletcher may join ETH staff. Yes, I I myself heard this news, and it's good. It's good. Like you can see that Ineos is basically putting complete faith on Eric Ten Hag, and that is what we want to see. You don't just let the manager be. You need to make sure that you back him 100%. And this is the statement that Sir Jim had made, and I can see that he's doing that, and I'm happy about that. Steve's place is in danger. I don't know what will happen with Steve McLaren. I just saw a report stating that they could find a place for him somewhere, somewhere. Just how they found a place for Darren Fletcher. Fletcher may join ETH staff. It will be very interesting to see how this entire structure like replenishes itself in a very funny way. Ah, Rashi was firing as his contract was expiring. Okay, this is in relation to what I said about Benny McCarthy in the first season. He always performs when his contract is ending. Tanmay, my friend, do you want to start a war with David? Because I'll be very happy to get you and David debating over this in the next video. It'll be great, dude. By the way, thank you for reminding me. Rashford, there is news coming out for Marcus Rashford and PSG. That's if if there is even an ounce of truth to that. All I can see is a big fat 75, 70 million amount written on his chest, going straight into our kitty. So that's all I'll say. If you ask me, if you put me on the spot and ask me, PSG is going to give you 75 million for Marcus Rashford, are you doing it? I will say yes, I am doing it. So there's my answer for that. Uh, at the end of the day, we will need to find a way to make at least 100 to 150 million. Like we have to make 100 to 150 million, and I'm sure Ineos has a plan to do that. The other thing, just a quick mention of some player named Luke Shaw who's completed 10 years in the club. Where does time fly? Luke Shaw has completed 10 years with Manchester United today. Congratulations to him. If you ask me personally, he is one of my favorite players currently playing for Manchester United. Am I disappointed with his injury track record? Of course I am. But at the end of the day, when he plays, when he's on form, he is our best left back. He is one of the best left backs in the world. Unfortunately, we've not really seen much of it. And I'm a little worried about him being at the Euros. He's not even started a game. He's barely started training with the first team of England. Um, I don't know, man. I feel like if Malasia, there were strong reports that even if Malasia and Luke Shaw they stay, we're going to go and get another left back. Luke Shaw's legacy, how will I remember Luke Shaw's legacy? If you ask me, 10 years, the highlights, you can't forget the whole Roberto Carlos phase. He was incredible. And then you also can't forget his brutal leg break. Before that, he was just about to kick into his United career, and that happened. And after that, it's just been inconsistent. Purely as a footballer, I'm very happy to have him in the squad. I think he is a fantastic player, and people don't give him enough credit. But at the same time, if he again has another injury-prone season, then I think the time will come. We will know after next season. So for now, congratulations, Luke Shaw. You have completed 10 years into the club, and I hope you remain fit next season, man. I really hope. Bringing in the next comment from Tanmay, like I said, he's with me right now. Tanmay says, but Ineos is being unfair with the women's team. Men's team would move to women's facility, and women's team would be moved out of their training facility. Tanmay, I understand where you're coming from. I do. I can understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, imagine the kind of mess that was left behind. There's so much that Ineos needs to do. They can only start with one thing, even when you as a person you get into a job, if for example, if you're the manager of owner of a business, of a dying business, think of it that everything is ruined. you're the owner of a new restaurant that you've taken up, which was pretty much sinking. I am a Gordon Ramsay fan. That's where this example is coming. You can't put your hands into every single aspect. You got to start somewhere. And with utmost respect to the women's team, I there were certain things that were done with them which were completely unfair in the past. Complete respect to them, but it would be unfair to give Ineos some negativity right now. I'm sure they have plans for the women's team, and I'm sure something will come up in the near future. That's all I'll say about that. Um, Tanmay says, with Mbappe gone, PSG needs someone like Rashi. Get the check in. I think even Tanmay is ready to give in. He is ready. So am I, honestly. But unfortunately, yeah, Tanmay, time has moved on from that time where PSG were actually properly linked with Rashford. He was, I think, 24 that time, a couple of seasons back, and he was firing. So. I don't know. I don't know if the ship has sailed. I don't know what's going to happen with Rashford. It seems like 90%, I think he's going to stay. 95%, to be honest. If there's a glimmer of hope that he goes, it probably would be PSG. Moving on to the next comment, Shaw was injured for 5 years. Look, man, okay. Even if I say that Shaw was injured for 5 years, tell me what we've done in those 10 years of Luke Shaw being in Manchester United. What other decent left back have we signed? I can remember Ashley Young played there, Daley Blind played there, Brandon Williams played there. Who was that guy from the Portuguese league? He's playing in Saudi right now with Ronaldo. Dude, why can't I get his name? What's the guy's name? I can see his face, but I can't remember his name right now. That left back, even he came in, and then Malasia came in. Hey, okay, Luke Shaw got injured for 5 years. Out of the 10 years, he was pretty much not available for half the games. What did United do to do something about that situation? We didn't do anything about it. We got Reguilon for like 5 months, and then we sent him back with no left back left. So I don't know, man. Like, if we had some decent like replacement, we should have done something about it, knowing that Luke Shaw's getting injury prone. Okay, now I was dragged into that by Tanmay. I'm going to not talk about Luke Shaw. Hey, guys, just to give you a little glimpse of my liking, my favorite players. Don't kill me for this. It is Luke Shaw and it is Scott McTominay. People will say I don't understand ball, but guys, come on. It's just I have a soft spot for Scott McTominay for some reason. Do not ask me why, but I do. Uh, Anyways, I'm gonna ignore that part now. I'm gonna go ahead. And like I was saying, that we need to focus on the sales aspect. The other thing, incomings that can that I think will purely come into play the moment we release the new jersey. It's just the kit launch, 1st of July. You will start seeing some action when it comes to incomings as well. And Man United are still in talks with Manuel Ugarte. Okay, dude, this guy, I swear. Okay, when he was in Sporting, I did a little bit of FIFA scouting, and I used to really like this player. Then he went into PSG. I did keep a keen eye on him, and he. If we can't get João Neves for obvious reasons, I'm all in for this Ugarte guy. Honestly, dude, he's got the perfect kind of attributes that we need in a CDM. He's ferocious, he's tenacious. He doesn't give two F's about going and trying to create a pass or create a goal. That's not his play. If you think that is what he's going to bring, then you're completely wrong. This guy will clean house in the center of the park. And having someone like him with Menu would be a very interesting blend. It really would be. So if that's a serious offer that we are considering, then it would be a good signing. Other than that, it seems like Xerxes deal. They're still saying that we are. It seems like Xerxes is the one striker that we're going to go after. He's number one on the priority. I don't know if I was there. I don't think I got a chance to speak about Todibo's situation, wherein Ineos have pretty much hired a lawyer to go and contest against this case. What do I feel about Todibo? I pretty much made a sound over there. What do I feel about Todibo? Good player. If we really want him, and it seems like we really do want him, I wouldn't be opposed to it. If we can find a way to get him for 35 million, it's a good bargain, man. That's a steal because I think he will be a solid centre back wherever he goes. Before I go anywhere else, you forgot Fred. Talmai, there is a reason I forgot Fred. There is a reason I forgot Fred. And the craziest thing is he's going to be managed again by Jose Mourinho. And we all know how we treated him when he was here. So best of luck to Fred. I hope he does well next season. And that is the last time I'm going to mention his name. Let me quickly go through the latest news that is coming out. So let me see. Oh, I wanted to bring this one in. I saw this tweet on X. Does that even make sense now? Because Twitter and tweet made sense. Now, what do we say when someone's put up a tweet? Do we still say tweet? Or do we say X? I don't know. Anyways, this was interesting. Omar Berrada quit his job at Man City to join United. Dan Ashford quit his job at Newcastle to join United and even took them to court. Gary O'Driscoll quit his job at Arsenal to join United. I think that's the doctor. John Wilcox quit his job at Southampton and joined United. Ruud van Nistelrooy turned down Burnley's managerial position. Go ahead, Eagles. By the way, what a splendid name. Go ahead, Eagles manager. Rene Haak is quitting his job to join United. We are Manchester United still works. And it works, my friends. It works. We still have that. And I think only United could pull something off like this. Maybe United and Real Madrid. And guys, I think in terms of coming news, there is pretty much not more that I am seeing right now. And Tanmay is clearly on a case. Dude, you were supposed to be unwell. Maybe that's why he's making such comments. He says, Fred was your favorite player with Scott and Shaw. Do not make me abuse on my own channel, my friend. That's all I'm going to say about that. Other than that, like I said, this week is going to be all about Erik ten Hag, Van Nistelrooy, Rene Haak. July 1st onwards, you can take it in writing, is going to start cooking when it comes to sales and transfers, and that's where all the excitement will start. It's not like I'm not excited about this whole setup of the coaching department. I'm very excited about that, and let's see how it turns out, guys. I think there is enough of news for now. Let me just refresh X one last time and see if there is anything new coming up. And Graham Bailey says Manchester United have made it clear to intermediaries involved with Rashford that they would not stand in his way if sufficient interest is shown. Rashford's situation is going to develop over the next couple of weeks. I am sure about that. And if at the end of the day, I have nothing against this guy, dude. Rashford is Mac born and bred, but there has to be a decision made. If he is not feeling it, I'm not saying that he doesn't love the club. He is one of those, I'm sure, who lives and dies for Manchester United. But sometimes it just doesn't click. It doesn't work out. Maybe you need a fresh start. And if that's what Marcus Rashford himself needs, and that's where he wants to go, he wants to leave for a new chapter, God bless him. I mean, he would go with all my best wishes, at least. And this is the developing story, which I'm sure we will get to hear more. And we will come back and we'll talk about it. I'm 100% sure about that in the coming days and weeks. And guys, please stay tuned. This was a quick wrap up, and it is always so much fun to sit here and talk to you guys. It feels like a venting session, and I don't know why I did not do this before. And I will see you guys very soon. For now, stay tuned. Please subscribe. If you have any comments about whatever we discussed, please drop into the comment section. It really would do wonders for us. And I will see you guys soon. Until then, you have our Instagram handle at Universal Devils. Get involved over there if you want to be a part of these lives. I'm very open when it comes to these things. Please get in touch, drop us a DM, and we'll find a way to get you on. For now, adios.